What a day. What a day. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Megan Fox, medium smart journalist, and it is a breaking news kind of day. I have been running all day long, keeping up with what's going on. I was just gathering interviews from the Mike Marraccini case that ended yesterday. It was dismissed by a California court judge who dismissed the case when Laura Owens didn't show up. And so I had an interview scheduled with Omar Serrato, Mike Marraccini's lawyer, to share with you, which you will see in just a moment. But just as Omar was getting on the call to do the interview, I found out that Laura Owens has just been indicted on 7 more counts, guys. 7 more felonies. Let's get into it. And just as I was starting this interview with Omar Serrato, Mike Marraccini's lawyer, Laura Owens gets indicted by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office with 7 more felonies. Oh, my Lord. And you get to see Omar's reaction and my reaction in live time. So enjoy. It's going to be fun. Oh, my God, Omar. Do you know what just happened?
I think I just got notification at the same time that you did.
She's been indicted again.
Fuck yes.
Gillespie. I was just on the phone with Greg. What are you telling him?
Oh, I'm so happy about that.
She got indicted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more felonies.
7 additional counts. So they're not dropping anything with Clayton. They're just going forward on all of them. Awesome.
On all of 7 additional counts. And these are different.
Yes.
These are different. We've got, so there's perjury, fraudulent schemes, 2 counts of taking the identity of another. That's new.
Fuck yes. Yes.
And then there's 2 counts of forgery.
Yes.
And then this is a new one. 1 count of theft by extort, accused of crime. What is that?
Theft by extortion. I imagine it's some kind of theft by extortion.
Oh, she accused him of a crime in order to extort him. That's what that means. By accusing someone, you can extort someone by accusing them of a crime, abortion, coercion, or something.
Yes. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that she did that like a long time ago. And now she's being charged for it. That is amazing.
Oh my God.
That is amazing.
Oh my God. She needed to be accused of extortion so bad. I just can't even believe this is happening, Omar.
It makes me so happy. You have no idea. No idea how happy this makes me.
I know, me too. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Tell me about the lead up to yesterday's, when we were there in October, there was a lot of drama that happened behind the scenes before the court, after day 1, before day 2. I mean, it was just a whole lot of drama. Did you have that same kind? I know you can't talk about all of it, but did you have those same types of nights, sleepless nights leading up to Wednesday's court?
It was not nearly as bad as the first time because, I think we were prepared to go back in, and we knew we had just a better expectation of what not to expect, and like just a direct game plan of that we were going to execute no matter what. And so there wasn't going to be any settlement talks. There was a lot of threats behind the scene. Threats against me personally. They're going to bar complaints against me or whatever, and this and that, which we just kind of charted as, of course she's going to file a bar complaint against me. It was noise. It was noise. It had nothing to do with anything. And then, of course, there was the whole horse fiasco. And then it was, what do we do with this information? Like, how is this relevant to our case? There was a lot of talk about perhaps bringing sanctions, which honestly, we could still ultimately do that if we decide to. But the point was, how is this going to affect Mike's case? Which it wasn't. It was a collateral issue to the issue of whether or not the DVRO renewal should go forward or not, right? And so we decided not to file anything and just address it with the judge. And there was a lot of back and forth that was going on behind our camp and Laura's camp, which I'm not even sure who is in her camp. I got suspicions of who's in her camp, but there were others that were involved that kind of flew in and out. Yeah.
Who's that? Now I'm curious. Who's that?
Oh, well, it was I can't talk about that just yet. But
Just not just yet. Okay.
let's put a
All right,
kibosh on
fine.
that. Yeah, but there were others, and so yeah, we know that there were people that saw her at the horse show competition. The question was, on what dates was she there? Was she there on the 21st? Was she there on the 22nd? Obviously, she was there during the weekend because she competed. There's a record, video, and all. We had eyewitnesses that submitted declarations that were prepared to talk about that kind of a thing. If it went to trial, those issues may have came out in cross. But ultimately, it's a collateral issue that involves sanctions, probably under 128.5, that have to do with her representations to the court about her various ailments, sicknesses, and et cetera, that she represented the court to get a continuance at the 11th hour back on the 22nd. When we came out of the court and everybody was all upset and we were just not expecting that. We didn't flag it. And Megan, when I tell you we didn't flag it, I mean, we got the email that she sent to the court requesting ADA accommodations. The problem was that's not the first time she had requested those accommodations. She had requested those way back like in July. She had mentioned those accommodations in her criminal case. I don't remember if she had mentioned them.
What
It's just a
accommodation was she asking for?
well, I have no idea what I believe what she was trying to do was get it to where she could just testify via Zoom. Ultimately, I think that's all it was.
Okay.
There was no scenario where we were going to give up Mike's right to confront her inside the courtroom. If she wanted a renew from all the way over there in Arizona, then we wanted her to bring herself to court in California and face the crucible of court. That's what we wanted
And
to do.
also knowing what we know about Laura and her deceptiveness,
Yeah,
there's no world in which her testifying via Zoom where she could have someone showing her cue cards, she could
sure.
have someone off camera in her ear. Who knows?
She could
That's
literally have
not
ChatGPT
acceptable.
supplying her
Right.
answers, off screen or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Totally unacceptable knowing what we know about her.
Yeah. And I think the judge
Yeah. Okay.
stopped
So
that.
what did you know how on the okay, so let's go back to October for a minute because
Yeah.
on the 21st we were excited, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened and we were like, "Oh God, the anxiety, it's killing us because we have
Right.
to wait another day and got to get a court reporter and all of this thing and then like the build up and then it was this huge letdown and I think everybody felt it. Everybody felt the zap of energy that went out of everyone. Like it was so upsetting to be told this is getting continued again. What was the difference between what we experienced on the 22nd and what you experienced yesterday? What was it like to get that case dismissed?
Well, we were prepared. I think we were just better prepared. Like we had more experience with that courtroom and how it operates. And so, for example, the court reporter thing, we were ready for that. We already knew. We were already looking for court reporters like last week, just in case we were going to get an email saying, hey, by the way, we don't have any court reporters and we might have to kick this out. It's like, oh, no problem, Judge. We got one. We have one on the ready.
Right.
And so we weren't worried about
Smart.
that. The ADA thing, we had no idea if that was coming. I guess the difference now is, and what I didn't know was going on behind the scenes is that they had actually litigated with the court. She filed an ADA accommodations motion of some sort with the San Francisco Superior Court, and that was ruled upon and denied. And we weren't privy. We didn't file a response. We didn't even know what happened until she served us with the writ that she was appealing Judge Gold's decision to deny her accommodations. And I'm not even sure that we were supposed to have been served with those, but she served us with those and all the other documents that she sent over with it. And what we learned from that is that she improperly filed the writ. She improperly argued it. She did not address in her appellate brief all of the reasons that Judge Gold denied her request, and therefore all they require is one good reason from the judge, and because she didn't oppose all of the reasons, denied automatically. They were done with this, and then I don't know if she tried to run that up to the higher courts. There was a lot of reporting going on that I was not checking the appellate docket or anything. We were just because we were communicating back and forth with the court. Like the day before, they were letting us know about the court reporters. And then we were telling them that we have a court reporter on the ready. And then we were asking
Right.
questions about, could this court reporter be remote? Do we need them to be in person? Just because it's a little bit cheaper if we could have them appear remotely. But
Sure.
of course, we were going to have them in person if that's what was required. Laura freaked out. She said, I object. I object to all of it. I object to everything. I do not waive my right
I
to a court
object
reporter.
to there being a record of my humiliation.
She did not. She said, I object to them being able to choose and dictate the transcript or whatever she was trying to say. And we would have said that, Laura, you pick the court reporter.
You
then.
pick a court reporter
We'll
then.
pay
Yeah,
for
you
it,
pick one.
you know?
Yeah, whatever. Just we're gonna have one.
Yeah, it's just we need a court reporter. We are closing off that avenue to a continuance. And so, she's flipping out and stuff. And she's telling us that she was canceling plans to go to the court because the court had informed her that there was a high likelihood that there would not be a court reporter there. And she says, oh, well, it's a high likelihood. You know what? I'm an indigent litigant in Arizona. I've been declared indigent. I can't afford to lose money. So while I have the time, I'm going to cancel my flight and, the refund and all of that.
What?
That carries on. I mean, it's already been reported that, she tries this, the morning of trial, she tries to tell the court that she is having this emergency medical procedure. She's vomiting blood and, life-threatening.
Oh, again,
again.
the vomiting.
And again, every single
blood.
time there's a court date, she just so happens to have these life-threatening occurrences. Mm-hmm. And so,
sure.
Yeah. But I think the court was ready for it this time because they too themselves now have experience with Laura Owens. And so when we walked into court, even then I was still nervous. I think the difference was I had Rachel there with me to share in the nervousness. And that in of itself was a calming thing. But when we were all standing outside of the courtroom, just like last time, and we're looking at the clock, it's like 9:15, 9:20, 9:25. I literally told Mike right before he walked in, I said, Mike, you just need to prepare yourself for anything. For all I know, they could be in there doing another in-camera presentation of whatever Laura was trying to do. I just didn't want to have the whole letdown like last time because that was devastating. I could handle the disappointment of a continuance and like the inconvenience of it all. What was difficult for me was dealing with Mike's reaction, his wife's reaction, and that whole thing.
It was rough.
So when we walk in there, the court reporter's ready to go, and I could just automatically tell this is completely different than last time. Laura was not on Zoom. She just must not have appeared. And then I started thinking, the judge made a comment about it being 9:30. He's like, oh, we're good. We got this. Because I feel like she started it at 9:30 just to say that trial was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It is now 9:30. I don't see Laura Owens in the courtroom. She's certainly not out there in the lobby. She's not even here by Zoom. And because she's not here, case dismissed, and you were in there. Well, you weren't in there, but you heard everything. But that's literally how it happened. And then there wasn't much more to do other than to reserve on attorney fees and costs, which is what we did. There's a future hearing for that.
Great news. It's just so good it's such great news for Mike and Danielle. Yeah. And I can sense their relief. This whole, something about the energy of this case is when you use the word devastating, it really was devastating to everybody. And I felt like it rippled across the community like a tidal wave of disappointment and despair. Yeah. And that they really bounced back by giving more to his legal fund to help you guys get back and do this all over again. But it really does feel like a victory. And I'm so sorry I missed the after party. I really wanted to be there for that.
I know. I was telling Rachel, I wish Megan was here. She deserves to be here for this one, not the other one.
I know. I'm glad that I was there, though. I'm glad because I feel like it was necessary, and also that I wouldn't have wanted to miss it. I wish I had been able to be there for both. I really do. And I was looking at flights the night before just to see, can I make it? Can I get there? If I was able to, I would have. It was just impossible because of family obligations and stuff that happened to be that weekend. I was at a wedding in Chicago.
I mean, like part of this was I'm having to travel myself, and I also have young kids at home, and I'm having to leave my wife at home with the kids. Mm-hmm. We had a vacation scheduled, and that had to get canceled and moved, and the disappointment of that. But my wife was really supportive. She said, "You know what? Just finish this." She said a lot of other things, but the message was, finish this. You know, I want this done.
It's
That was my
interesting. It's
directive.
interesting about how the spouses in this have responded. I'm sure your
Yeah,
wife is well aware of all of the craziness surrounding this case. She must have a lot of choice words for Laura Owens, because now this woman is taking up her time and taking
yeah,
up making her reschedule her vacation. I know she and Tasha and Danielle and all the wives of this case will have a lot in common, and to talk about at the big party after the big criminal
yeah,
trial. You
yeah.
should bring her to Arizona. Are you coming for the criminal trial?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
I
you
probably
gotta.
will bring her up there. Yeah, I can't miss
You
that one.
should turn
Yeah,
it into a family vacation. It's going to be
yeah,
2 weeks, 2 weeks in Scottsdale. You can't ask for a better vacation than that. It's fun there. You'll like
yeah.
it.
You know what? I think that's the move. I think that's what we're gonna do. Why not? So
Excellent. Well,
and
you
they
did
go.
an amazing job, Omar, going from YouTube commentator on this case to literally being in the battle, fighting for Mike's life.
Yeah.
It's just admirable. I've seen you go through a lot during this, and I just thank you for doing it,
Oh,
because he needed you badly.
yeah. It was a tough decision to do that. You know, because I do have a YouTube history with the case, and that was like my first concern. The second concern was like, this is going to be really costly, and it's going to be really time consuming, and it's going to tie up my entire firm for like a period of time. And but there was just a point in time where there was enough rally behind it where I would feel like a chicken shit for not like finishing this and like taking it and like helping out Mike, because he had nobody else. Like he didn't have
Yeah, he
the
didn't.
resources to fight this. And the last time he tried to do this on his own, I saw what happened in 2020. It's like we can't let that happen. I mean, obviously, I saw what happened in 2018 when nobody knew what they were dealing with. I kind of sympathize with Randy Sue Pollock. She had no idea
Yeah.
what she was going up against. I can't blame her completely, although I could disagree with the decision to stipulate to a restraining order. I mean, really, the move
She
is
did the thing, though. She did the thing that every lawyer would do in a situation like this, because they don't. If you're dealing with someone who's not Laura Owens, right? You're dealing with just a random ex-girlfriend or whatever who isn't Laura. You don't know about her history. You don't know that she's done this to multiple people. So
yeah,
it's reasonable to me to do the same thing that Woodnick did with Gillespie, which is just let it go.
yeah.
Let it
Well,
go.
that's true.
You don't want to spend your life on this. Just let it go. Let her have the restraining order. Who cares? You don't admit guilt, and you move on with your life, not knowing that
Little did
you
he
will
know.
never be able to. She won't allow you to move on with your life,
Right,
you know? I'm
right.
sure looking back, Randy Supalik would do something different. She would treat it differently. And maybe going
Yeah,
forward, she'll treat these cases differently. And I'm sure you will too. I'm sure you'll be thinking in your mind, what's the worst case scenario here?
yeah.
You know?
Well, my strategy's always been. I get it though, having firsthand knowledge now of what it's like to litigate against Laura Owens. She's exhausting. Like she opposes every single little thing. Like you get an email from her every single day about some objection, some kind of a threat, some kind of whatever. It is exhausting on the litigants. It's exhausting on Mike. And I think the litigants' job is to try to kind of shield Mike from those things. I can see a world where he just ran out of money and is too costly, and they're doing depositions and discovery. We don't got kids. You know what? Fine, I'll sign it. No finding of DV. I'll do it.
Right.
But at the same time, the litigant, and he's like, if I'm not going to agree to a restraining order, I'll just go to court and lose and get the same thing. That's not kind of
Right.
I think the move, and then I'm sure they were probably trying to do like a civil protection order or something like that in lieu of a DV order. But either way, it's water under the bridge. It's over. It's over, and it's finished. And I'm so happy for Mike.
Oh, me too. I'm so happy for Mike and for everybody in the community who helped out and who wanted to see this through to the end. It's over for Mike. It's just beginning for Greg Gillespie today. Unbelievable week for Laura Owens. What a loss this week. She loses out to Mike Marraccini, and now she's facing 7 more felonies in relation to what she did to Greg Gillespie. This is going to be wild. Omar, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Megan. You're the best. I appreciate you and everything you do.